Jungkook, Yoonwoo, Minju, Jihyo, and Yin are gathered at their friend Mina's house. They form a close-knit group in their class on campus. Their relationships are quite unique. Some are in a romantic relationship, while others have a feud. Mina and Minju are a couple. Yoonwoo and Jihyo, although friends, harbor mutual feelings for each other, but they are too shy to confess, even though they are aware of each other's feelings. Lastly, Jungkook and Yin often cause headaches for their friends as they consistently find themselves in arguments. Rather than friends, they are more like enemies. How about it? Do you agree that we fill our upcoming weekend with backpacking on Gyeonggi Island? I agree. I want to spend the night with Mina in a tent, just the two of us. In that case, how many tents should we bring, and how should we distribute them? Well, since Mina is with Minju, I'll be with Jihyo because she's the only remaining female friend. That means we should bring 3 dome tents, 1 for each pair. Mina with Minju, Yin with Jihyo, and I'll be with Jungkook. Alright, let's discuss the departure logistics now. Departure as usual, taking the ferry from Incheon Passenger Terminal to Gyeonggi Island, then transferring to another ferry heading to Gyeonggi Island. Alright then, next week, no one should be late, especially you, Yin. Don't make us all wait because of you. Huh, have I ever been late? But you always end up coming last. Coming last doesn't mean I'm late. I arrive according to the agreed schedule. But you always come last, and we all end up waiting for you. What time did we agree to meet? And I always arrive at the agreed time. You all just come too early. Oh my, can't you two stop arguing? I hope you two will fall in love someday. Me and him? That only happens in dreams. It will never happen. Quite confident, aren't you? Are you sure you won't fall in love with me someday? Of course, you are the most annoying person in the entire galaxy. Jungkook just stares sharply at her. Deep down, he feels uneasy hearing what Yin said. Somehow, this time, he feels challenged. Does Yin really hate him so much? Is he genuinely the most annoying person to her? And for some reason this time, Jungkook felt displeased hearing those words coming out of Yin's mouth. There was something different in his heart. He wanted to refute that argument. He didn't like Yin saying such things about him. Meanwhile, quietly, Minju observed Jungkook displaying a faint smirk. Suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind, a plan that he found very interesting to witness later. Okay, undoubtedly, there would be something intriguing during the upcoming vacation. 1 week later. Now the 6 of them have just disembarked from the ferry at Gyeonggi Island. The small and scenic island turns out to have many visitors, and camping spots are already visible at several points. Today, it seems very busy. Eagerly getting off the ferry, they were about to start walking, but simultaneously, they all needed to use the restroom. Finally, they lined up at the public restroom provided. Wow, it's risky. If we stay here too long, our favorite camping spots might be taken by others. That's why we all need to be quick. The public restroom is only down here. After we climb up the hill, there won't be any restrooms. To be cautious, let's take care of everything that can be disposed of. Suddenly, there was a family passing in front of them, consisting of a couple in their 35s and their 2 children aged 3 and 5. Uncle? Aunt? What are you doing here? The family was equally surprised to see Jihyo there. None of them expected to encounter Jihyo. Yin and her friends could only watch as Jihyo joyfully chatted with her relatives. Suddenly, from a distance, one of their children was crying loudly while tightly holding Jihyo's hand. A little girl who was 5 years old. The parents were seen trying to comfort their child, but the little one's grip on Jihyo's hand grew stronger, as if the child didn't want to be separated from her. Eventually, Jihyo lifted the little girl and held her, then returned to her friends with a face expressing guilt. Hi friends, I'm really sorry. It seems I won't be able to join you. I'll be with my relatives. They're having a family camping trip. My grandmother is there too, and it turns out, my little cousin here is celebrating her birthday. I didn't want to decline them. That's okay then. No problem. We totally understand. But what about your return tomorrow? You all go ahead first. It seems I'll be spending more time at their place. I'm really sorry once again, everyone. With that, Jihyo returned to her relatives. Yin remained silent and thoughtful. Something had been bothering her since earlier. If Jihyo wasn't joining them, who would she be sleeping with tonight? Yin started to feel uneasy, and unbeknownst to her, Jungkook was quietly observing her. 30 minutes later. They have now begun exploring Gyeonggi Island, a secluded and picturesque island. Camping on this island is truly perfect, surrounded by a serene and natural atmosphere. Everyone seems enthusiastic, except for Yin. She is starting to feel pressured, thinking about sleeping alone tonight. It's not possible for her to sleep with Yoonwoo. Yin knows Jihyo has feelings for Yoonwoo, and vice versa. Jungkook, forget it. Before she even suggests it, he would probably mock her relentlessly. Yin sighed, reminiscing about when her relationship with Jungkook took a turn for the worse. They had been friends for a long time, not just during college. They had known each other since junior high school. Back then, everything was fine between them, but suddenly, Jungkook became incredibly irritating. Finally, they have found the perfect spot to set up the tent, and the atmosphere is beautiful. What's even more appealing is that the chosen spot is not too crowded. The men start busying themselves with setting up the tents. There are 3 tents already prepared. Going back to the initial plan, Minju will be with Mina, Jungkook with Yoonwoo, and the question remains who will be with Yin. Unbeknownst to them, they are now sitting together for dinner under the open sky. A small campfire has been burning since earlier, and they gather around it, seeking warmth while enjoying a modest dinner. How about tonight I sleep with Yin? It's not right for her to sleep alone in the midst of this quietness. No, I want to be with you tonight. But Yin is alone, Minju. She can be accompanied by Jungkook or Yoonwoo. Can you guys keep her company? The issue is our tent can't accommodate 3 people. It would be too cramped. In that case, one of you can accompany her. It's not necessary. I'm fine being alone. They all fell silent upon hearing Yin's response. Truthfully, she didn't want to make the situation uncomfortable. This seemed to be the best option for her. Yoonwoo wouldn't agree, as he has feelings for Jihyo. It's impossible for him to sleep together with Yin. She also didn't want to disturb the togetherness of Minju and Mina, especially since Minju seemed genuinely unwilling to have Mina taken away from him. Jungkook, once again, forget about him, or the situation might worsen. I'll sleep alone. You don't need to worry. Minju, you're so heartless. Don't you feel sorry for her? Let me accompany her. Trust me, she won't sleep alone tonight. What do you mean? Clearly, she's alone, and there's no one to accompany her. You'll understand by tomorrow morning. Mina, frustrated by the cryptic messages from her boyfriend, decided to wait and see what tomorrow morning would bring. It was already 9 p.m., and they were satisfied with the evening. The night sky was clear, displaying the beauty of the stars. The cool night air made their eyes feel even heavier. Now, they began preparing to enter their tents, and so did Yin. In the darkness of the night, if given a choice, she would prefer to stay outside longer with her friends than be alone inside the tent. Unable to avoid it, she finally entered her tent. She laid down, covering herself with a blanket. Confused about whether to sleep facing right or left, either way, being alone made her uneasy. In the end, Yin decided to lie on her back, covered with the blanket up to her nose. Her eyes remained wide open, scanning every corner of the tent. Trying to close her eyes once again, the images from horror movies she had watched flashed in her mind. Yin couldn't sleep. Fear gripped her, and tears started welling up without her realizing it. Instantly, she felt regret. If only she hadn't joined, she would now be in her comfortable room without experiencing the fear of tonight. But suddenly, the sound of the tent zipper being opened echoed. Yin immediately turned towards it. Someone was unzipping the tent, and shortly after, Jungkook appeared, bowing his body as he entered the tent. After that, Jungkook closed the zipper, and without saying anything, he approached Yin and lay down beside her. Yin looked surprised and slightly confused by Jungkook's sudden arrival. Jungkook, why are you here? Tonight, we're going to sleep together. No need. I can handle being alone. Is that so? Alright then. I'll leave. Jungkook began to move and get ready to rise, but Yin promptly hugged him tightly, preventing him from getting up, so now his body was lying back beside hers. Don't go. Please stay with me here. Yin continued to embrace him, and the two of them fell into silence on the quiet night. Her hands were wrapped around his chest, her face nestled on Jungkook's neck, their bodies truly close to each other. Jungkook remained silent, letting Yin embrace him. He knew Yin was scared right now. Suddenly, there was the sound of a bird chirping nearby in their tent, and shortly afterward, it seemed like the bird perched right above their tent, creating a bit of a noisy disturbance in the tent. Yin held Jungkook even tighter, her body tensed. Any embarrassment she felt earlier was now gone. She didn't care if Jungkook would mock her tomorrow. What she needed right now was a friend to help ease her current fear. Hey, it's just a bird. Can you hear its sound? It's just a bird, Yin. What kind of bird is out at night like this? Maybe an owl, who knows? Yin remained frightened, clinging tightly to Jungkook. Still in a lying position, Jungkook finally stretched out his right arm, pulling Yin's body close with one arm. Now, Yin's face was perfectly nestled into the side of Jungkook's neck, and without hesitation, Yin also embraced Jungkook tightly. Now, go to sleep. Aren't you sleepy? Yin just nodded slowly, trying to calm her body to be able to sleep tonight. Gradually, Yin's feelings became more at ease, but now her heart, which was initially afraid, began to feel nervous. Not out of fear anymore, but now Yin was nervous thinking about Jungkook. Jungkook, who was currently embracing her, and she who was also holding on to Jungkook, alone in the tent. 15 minutes had passed. In Jungkook's embrace, Yin occasionally still moved. You still can't sleep? Not yet. Why can't you sleep? Is it because I'm with you now? What? Just look at our current position, embracing each other, alone in the tent. You're starting again. Are you teasing me now? Mocking me in a situation like this? Seriously? Jungkook. Wasn't I right? Just look at our current position. Yin now started to resist, trying to break free from his embrace, but Jungkook's arms held her, keeping their position unchanged. Stop moving. Can't you stop teasing me? Why do you enjoy playing pranks on me so much? I don't know. I just like seeing you irritated, especially when you pout. I find it cute. Huh? What are you talking about? Well, I'm serious. Your pouty face is adorable to me. What are you really talking about? Forget it. Let's just sleep now. Why am I not sleepy at all? Why? Because I'm here. You yourself haven't been able to sleep until now. Yeah, I still can't sleep either. You teased me earlier, but now you can't sleep either because I'm here, right? Yeah, that's right. You admit it so quickly? Are you surprised by my confession? Doesn't it make sense? The two of us in the tent at night, cuddling like this. Should I kiss you to make the atmosphere even more intense? Instantly, Yin playfully pinched his stomach with a surprisingly strong and painful pinch. Jungkook winced in pain. Hey, that hurts. Let go, or I'll kiss you. I know you're just bluffing. Yin intensifies the pinch on his stomach, making him wince even more. Release your pinch, Yin, or I'll really kiss you right now. Yin just laughed. She wasn't afraid at all of his threats, confident that Jungkook wouldn't go through with them. However, in that moment of assurance, she was startled by a kiss on her lips. It was a gentle kiss, leaving her body stunned and momentarily immobilized. Jungkook actually kissed her. Despite wanting to push Jungkook away, she found herself entranced by the kiss. The softness of his lips overwhelmed her. Unconsciously, Yin traced her hand along his neck, which was now positioned above her. Yin herself was surprised by her actions. Was she going crazy? What had Jungkook done to her? Why was she hypnotized like this? Jungkook paused for a moment in his actions, gazing at Yin's face now beneath him. I told you to stop earlier, but you kept doing it. Even though I warned you, you continued. It seems like you really want me to kiss you, After whispering that, Jungkook immediately pressed his lips to her ear, trailing down to her neck. Yin enjoyed it, closing her eyes. I thought you were just joking. I thought you wouldn't do it. And you see, I'm really doing it now. Why are you doing this to me? Yin was still trying to calm herself and ask, although she was desperately suppressing the sounds from escaping her mouth. On the other side, Jungkook didn't stop. He continued to play with her ears and neck. You ask why I'm doing it? Because I want to. I desire it. I've wanted you for a long time. Huh? Then why have you always made me upset all this time? I told you earlier, I like seeing your pouting face. Now Jungkook started leaving some visible marks on her neck. While she had resigned herself, she could already imagine their friends teasing them relentlessly tomorrow. Her hand gripped his shoulder tightly, suppressing the sensations she was currently experiencing. She closed her mouth tightly, still holding back any strange sounds from escaping. But I don't want you to keep making me upset. Promise me, starting tomorrow, you won't upset me again. I won't make you upset anymore. But what's in it for me? What's the compensation? What do you mean? I won't make you upset anymore, as long as you become my girlfriend. Are you still asking? Look at what you've done to me. Jungkook, it's enough. How many more marks do you want to leave on my neck, Jungkook finally stopped, now gazing at her face, barely visible due to the limited light inside the tent illuminated only by the flashlight on Yin's phone, which had been on since the beginning. Their eyes locked. Both of them were panting, their faces quite close, and the collision of their breaths could still be felt at such a proximity. I'm sorry if I've made you upset so often. Promise me, starting tomorrow, you won't do it anymore. You're doing it again. What did I do? Don't pout in front of me too often. Didn't I already say earlier that it makes you even more adorable in my eyes? Jungkook once again kissed her lips, and Yin welcomed it. After a while, let's sleep now. It'll be dangerous if this continues. Jungkook shifted to lie on his back beside Yin. Meanwhile, Yin snuggled closer to him, positioning herself facing him and hugging his body. Jungkook remained silent, allowing her to do as she pleased. Both of them stayed quiet, not uttering a word, until eventually, they closed their eyes and drifted off to sleep. A few hours later, Jungkook woke up, hearing noises from outside the tent, suggesting that their friends were already awake. He looked around the dimly lit tent. His head turned to the side, observing Yin still sound asleep, her hands embracing him throughout the night. Glancing at his wristwatch, he noticed it was 6 a.m. Carefully, he moved Yin's hand away from his body. He rose slowly to avoid waking Yin beside him, unzipping the tent quietly to step outside. As Jungkook stepped outside, he found Yoonwoo, Minju, and Mina already awake, enjoying warm drinks. Jungkook joined them, sitting close while his friends teasingly smiled. "Where's Yin?" "She's still sleeping." "Alright, here's a drink for you, and another one for Yin. We've got it covered." "It seems like you two aren't enemies anymore." Jungkook chose not to respond to his friends, simply savoring the hot chocolate they had prepared for him. Meanwhile, the trio engaged in light conversation, relishing the cool morning air. 30 minutes later, Yin emerged from the tent, wearing a bashful expression as she approached her friends and sat beside Jungkook. "Wow, Yin, you're wearing a scarf? Is there something you're hiding behind it?" "No, there's nothing really." "Really? Come on. Let me check, just in case." "Enough, Mina. Minja probably did the same to you, right?" Mina fell silent, her cheeks blushing as she glanced at Minju. "You two, finally becoming couples. Well, Jihyo and I will be a couple tomorrow." "Yeah, Yoonwoo, you took too long. Don't let her get bored waiting for you." Okay. Well, for now, let's enjoy our breakfast. Aren't you all hungry?" "Of course. I've been getting hungry." Finally, they started preparing their breakfast. They enjoyed their meal eagerly, the cool and serene air making their minds calm. They agreed that they would go camping like this more often. It seemed like it would become a new hobby for them.